Hello, this is Ian, Somerset News Network. We have started the Common Sense Party. No need for membership, no need to send your money. All you've got to do is agree to use your common sense. And I think 95% of us have more common sense than any politician. We have got to stop the tyranny of this Labour government. Every turn you make, he's having a go at somebody. They've taken security off iPhones. They've put car tax up. Your electric and gas has gone up. Every turn you take, stuff is going up. The only thing that's going down is petrol prices at the pumps. That's not government policy. That's because of Trump, because he's drill baby drill. So the world price has gone down. Companies are finding it hard to make ends meet because of the energy prices. And the business taxes. You know, the business rates for businesses are horrendous. If we want businesses to thrive, we have to support them. I think a new business that starts up should have 2 free years from council tax. After that, it pays tax. Then the council's making money. The rent on businesses, on small business, has to come down. It's horrendous. I was looking for a workshop. And the money they want to charge me for a 20 by 10 small workshop is just, it was just, I don't make lots of money, but I just couldn't afford it. If I got that and was paying rent, I'd be bankrupt in 6 months. That's why I work from home. I've got a small workshop in my garage, which has always been a workshop. I've had it for 20 years now. But I'm working on my own. I work for myself. I have a friend that comes down and helps me and does my welding for me, because I'm not allowed to weld because I got a digger. But what we want is common sense. We've started the Common Sense Party, which means you've got to use your common sense. We're not going to align ourselves with any political party at the moment. But we are going to point out what's wrong with the government that we've got. We are under tyranny of the Labour government. England was under tyranny under King John, and the barons met King John in 1215 and made him sign the Magna Carta for our rights and liberties. Although it was done by the barons for the barons, it was across the board for everybody at the end of the day. And then in 1216 it was rewritten. The clauses, instead of being 63, it was only 40. That was done by Henry III in 1216. He was the son of King John. And it was every free man had the rights and liberties within the Magna Carta. It was common sense. They reaffirmed it under Henry III in 1225. Then Edward I reaffirmed it in 1297. was based on common sense, rights and liberties. We have the right to a fair trial. We have the right to be heard. We have the right not to be fined or imprisoned without conviction. So you had to go to court, and maybe a magistrate court, or what it was then, there's the assizes. And then we had the assizes after the Civil War, which didn't really solve the problems. But we had Parliament, we had the King, and we had the Lords. But the Civil War didn't solve the problem that we had. So under James II, who became Catholic, and then we were under the tyranny of James II in the 1660s. Lord Monmouth raised an army. It was called the Pitchfork Rebellion. I think it was 1685, but if I'm wrong, put a note down below. But it's round about there. I went to the 300-year anniversary of the Battle of Sedgemoor, which unfortunately, as an Englishman and a Somerset lad, we lost. And they took the Duke of Monmouth back to the Tower as a traitor. And they botched his execution. But that's another story for another day. But that didn't solve the problem of the tyranny under James II. He thought he had the divine right of kings. And there was philosophers talking about this. I think it was Dryden, I think it was, who wrote that the king had the divine right of kings, given to him by God. But John Locke said the king was not above the law. You hear everybody say nobody's above the law. And that was John Locke and the people around him. They were Protestants. John Locke ended up in Holland with James II's daughter Mary and her husband, the Prince of Orange. They were invited back to England when they marched from Devon to London. James II upped it. Glorious revolution, not a shot was fired. That gave us the Declaration of Rights. The rights and liberties. It said in the first half, everything that was wrong, the tyranny. And that's what we've got to do with our Labour government. We've got to write down everything that's wrong with this Labour government, and then we can put it right. Now, the Bill of Rights said what was wrong. Imprison people without trial, disarming the population, and getting rid of rights and liberties, not allowing Protestants to hold office of state. And it was all Catholic run. And that was the tyranny back then. So the second half of it was putting everything right, giving us back our rights and liberties. Now that's what we have to do as a common sense party. We have to work out what the tyranny is of the Labour government. What's wrong with the Labour government? I could write a book on it. We've had 9 months of a Labour government that has lied to us, cheated to us, and everything they said they were going to do in the election they haven't done. And they didn't tell us a lot in the election because they knew they were going to do all this. So we're under the tyranny of a Labour government, and we have to write down what's wrong. Then we've got to write down how we put it right. And that's what the Common Sense Party's got to do. You don't need to send any money. All you've got to do is sign up to be and use your common sense. I will use my common sense. All you have to do. Everybody can do it. It doesn't matter what party you're in. Just have to understand that we are going to use our common sense and use our ancient rights and liberties to back our arguments up. That is the common sense party way. Anyway, I'm Ian, Somerset News Network, and I endorse this message. How about that? Bit of an American for you. Bye bye.